Guys, we are going back to 2013. This is something that we have talked about for quite a while. I have a bit of a disdain of what this time was going on in 2013. We are going back to the Elimination Chamber of 2013, and we are going to have CM Punk take on The Rock for the WWE title, for the championship, for the spinner belt, the John Cena title. Basically, this match was happening here right now just purely to have Rock v Cena one more time.
Yes, and about this show, this was also the year that I stopped watching wrestling. I have no memory of this year, and since the network, came out, I've actually gone back and watched it because this was the year I became a dad.
Yes.
I became a dad in the middle part of this year, but I actually have no memory of the Rumble, the Mania, anything like that. I know all I remember from the middle part was at one point Daniel Bryan won the championship and then Orton cashed in on him. And eventually by the end of this year, December of 2013, we had one championship because the main event of that year's TLC was Cena World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton WWE Champion, and they merged them. And then we actually had the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which we actually have covered, guys. We covered the Mania 30, which was Daniel Bryan actually winning that World Heavyweight Championship. But I have no memory of this chamber event. I went back and actually watched it on the network, and I'm like, what? Like some of the decisions, like Jack Swagger winning a chamber match and getting a title shot against Alberto Del Rio.
Yep.
And I think this also had, Bruce's Clay was also on the card back at this time.
Yes.
But this was the real authority, I think, forming the PG era. And this is, again, the time I didn't watch. But, this is Punk Rock 2, as it's a rematch from the Royal Rumble where The Rock, after 10 years away, came back for some reason and won the world title. He
had some time away from Hollywood and wanted to return, and he claimed to the people out there who he would claim the people's champ that he claimed that he was, that he came home, that he was never going to leave the WWE, and it was a bold-faced lie. Also, too, a shout out to another Twitch streamer and a podcaster by the name of Josh Robinson. He actually, on one of his streams just a few nights ago, did the showcase style of the 2K 2013, and actually was streaming the Royal Rumble match and the Elimination Chamber match that he was playing as The Rock v CM Punk. So shout out to you, sir.
No, very nice. He's a really good fella, guys, and I actually think I'm going to add his promo after we do this watch along. I'll put on the Wrestling Reverb podcast for Josh Robinson. He's based in Adelaide, so one of our neighbouring states. He does some great content. But with that being said, Alan, could you how can people watch along? I'll explain it. If you go into the show notes of our actual show, if you click the link that's attached to that, it will actually take you either to our YouTube channel or it will actually take you to the Daily Motion clip, but it most likely will be YouTube, depending if we can actually upload it, because we've had a few issues, haven't we, Alan, with the old YouTube?
Your boy right here, Tom, thinks it's you've really got to be careful, man. You can't be posting stuff like that because it would be like you're going to get a strike on the channel and get a smack bottom.
Nothing wrong with a little smack.
Moving on, I wish I regretted saying that. Let's just move on, hey?
All right, Alan. Give us our countdown.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready. By the way, segue right here before we start. The match does not start straight away. We are getting a WrestleMania promo before the match. So bear with it, and then we can see the match. All right, guys, let's press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to turn this right down.
Yeah, see, I have no memory. I did watch the previous year, which was Rock versus Cena the first time. That was WrestleMania 28. But really, this was a 3-year story, because it started the year earlier. When The Rock was the host of WrestleMania and Miz was the champion and successfully defended his title against John Cena in the main event, hell.
In the main event.
Yeah. Just
Let's
just
send.
just say that again. Miz in the main event of WrestleMania.
And he got the win. He got the
Yeah.
W over Honhina.
And I think the previous year he was in an opening tag match with the Big Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the unified tag belts.
7 weeks from tonight. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mitchell Cole, Jerry Lawyer, and JBL the Bully.
It's definitely a bucket list, hey, to one day experience a WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, if it happens. Yeah.
Like I would love like an all expenses trip, like to win a comp and like go over to America. You get front row seats to actually watch a WrestleMania. That's a dream.
Also, too, going back to the 2K13 game that I watched the other night, the commentary for that game is Jerry Lawyer and JR.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very interesting how they must have got them in the booth and gone, hey, come and do something.
Well, I wonder if JR was on SmackDown, or maybe they were just doing a 3-man booth like we just saw here. Maybe he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Here's a question. Did you watch that first match?
Nope.
Right.
And Vince McMahon is the face here or something, and you're like...
Well, it's funny because, like, you know, you think of that championship reign, it was like 400 plus days, and that almost seems like nothing when you think of Roman today.
Yeah.
Like Roman's doubled that and a little bit more.
That story that we're witnessing right now on SmackDown and the WWE, of course, is just pure gold that we're up in them hills. It's tugs at the heartstrings, and yeah, it's just very well done. And I'm
Did
intrigued.
your son watch the ending of Royal Rumble with you?
Sure did.
Yeah, my little boy did too, and he's shouting, going, "Don't, Sammy, don't do it!" And I'm like in my head, "Fucking hit him!" But my son's like, "Don't!" And he's on his knees begging, and I'm like, "It's good, it's all right. He's gonna hit him."
And it's true, he did. We all could tell it. But again, come on, bro. Roman Reigns fell for the same thing. You know, you never trust a brother in right there, especially if you give them a steel chair.
No, it's great storytelling. I kind of feel like they're in an awkward position at the moment because of the whole Cody thing. Like, the fans are screaming for Sami Zayn. Reminds me of the year Batista won the Rumble. You know, back in 2014, they thought, oh, big movie star Batista, he'll come back as a face and we'll do Randy Orton and Batista. But the fans wanted Daniel to be the one to dethrone Randy. Yes. And it kind of feels like that now because it's like, hey, you guys love Cody versus Roman, but people are really behind Sammy. It's like, do you do triple threat at Mania? Can Sammy beat the tribal chief in Montreal? I hope not, and I don't think it will.
It's not going to happen.
But then what do you do? You know, does Sammy and Owens team back up and take on the Usos? Tag belts? I don't know because even the Usos are fractured. So,
well, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm immediately thinking that, pardon me, at WrestleMania, Owens and Zayn will team and face the Usos, win the titles. I mean, it would be a nice little feel-good WrestleMania moment. And then, a week later, maybe on SmackDown, they drop the titles, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, and I think it would be good because that's the one thing they've never done together is actually win the WWE tag belts.
I mean, have they done like their previous indie times that you know of? Have they ever like owned the ROH?
Oh yeah, that's how they split. I think after they lost the belts, that's when Owen turned heel. Well, Skeen turned heel on him the first time. Yeah.
There we go. See, if they can do it, that would be cool to see. And then we just saw the promo there of the upcoming match here now. It's for the spinner title, the John Cena title,
and it's Alan's favorite belt of all time.
Don't you say that horrible shit, Ricky Bobby? Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? No, I hate this title so much. It's a toy.
Yeah. But how crazy is this? It always makes me laugh. Like when we think, oh yeah, the belt will probably stick around for a little bit. that belt's been around since like '05. And this is 2013 here. That belt's been around for 8 years. For 8 years, that has been your WWE Championship.
You're so blessed.
Because it's crazy. Do you know what happened the night after, though?
Tell me.
They changed the belt.
Yeah, we went to the Big W, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they called it, it was called the Big, I think it was like the Big Logo or something they called it, the name for it. But that was, the night after Rock had a new belt, which just had the big WWE logo and had champion written in bold, in gold underneath.
Yep.
And then when Brock won the belt by, I think, the middle of the year or something like that, they changed it to just say the big WWE symbol we know today. But yeah, this was the last time in this main event that you had, the spinner belt be defended.
And when this is, it would be the very last time, wouldn't it? For like it felt like pretty much forever. Yep, understandable. But yeah, walking around with the championship here, even though he's claiming he's champion.
Well, did you see in that video package? It really was like 2 weeks worth of film, all that they did.
Yeah.
Like, to think the gap between a pay-per-view is usually 3 to 4 weeks. That footage they showed was only 2 Raws worth of footage. That didn't involve SmackDown because this was separate brand. So really, for that month after winning the belt, The Rock, I don't think even wrestled on Raw. Like, he just wrestled at pay-per-views as champion.
He came out, cut a promo, then got beat up by Punk, and then went to the back. I love that Punk has been getting in the face of the referee and Justin Roberts by saying, "You didn't announce me as the WWE champion. You should do that now."
I will say, hearing Justin Roberts say CM Punk sounds cool, though.
Oh, yeah, big time. It takes us back to, was it last year? Of his short stint in AEW.
I was going to say, takes us back to a simple time back then.
It was a simple time back then when I wouldn't imagine it was a simple time back then, especially for Punk, dealing with a bunch of rich youth and pieces of shit.
How dare you?
It's true, mate. The NWO of today.
I'm not talking to you about that clip. Share it on our Twitter. But I'm not watching that clip anymore. I watched it and I'm like trying to counter and I'm like, I can't. There's nothing. I can't say anything.
Hulk Hogan, Kenny Omega, the Bucks, Hall and Nash. Just leave it there, guys.
Damn it. And I'll say Brandon Cutler. That's Vincent. Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah. Right there on the tee. Couple of rich boys making some money and making sure that the old guy came back and tried to enjoy wrestling, and they're like, do you like wrestling? Oh, okay. But we're rich boys and we got money, and
part of me thinks there was maybe even a bit of jealousy. Wait a minute, you're actually bringing in more money than we ever did. Thanks, but can you stop bringing in so much because you're earning it and we want some as well.
Everyone's buying a CM Punk shirt and not a Bucks shirt or an Omega shirt. Could you not, please?
Here's a question. Looking at Heyman standing here.
Yes.
Who would you say is your favorite person that he's managed?
Of all time?
I'm talking like NWA, WCW, and I say that because JBL does reference that. He references some names of the past, but who's someone that jumps out for you when you think of Paul Heyman or Paulie Dangerously? Who's been one of your favorite guys he's managed?
The Wild Samoans back in the day.
The SWAT team.
The Samoan SWAT team. Definitely them. I would say the Dangerous Alliance.
Nice.
With Stone Cold Steve Austin, Larry Zbyszko, Arn Anderson, Medusa.
Rick Rude.
Rick Rude, thank you. That team, that unit. It was for a brief time. I'm really bummed out they didn't use him more, because wasn't he going to be part of Cesaro? He was, yeah. Yeah, Cesaro at one time was a Heyman guy, and it didn't go anywhere. I think it's because, Cesaro got in the ring with Vince McMahon one time, and he fluffed his words, and that sort of led him to the onto the wayside of which I don't really blame Cesaro. You're in the ring with the boss, and you got to keep your shit together. But I think when Brock left on and off WWE for those gap years, they thought, well, what do we do? So they put him with CM Punk. They put him with Cesaro,
and then eventually Roman Reigns now. But I would say, yeah, the Cesaro one was quite interesting because it was almost like he was a face and trying to do a face turn.
Mm.
I did like these two together. I know it eventually did lead to a split where Brock did come back and he actually took on Punk at a SummerSlam.
The most effed up one time is when Paul Bearer passed away.
Yeah.
And Paul Bearer came out on Raw or SmackDown as Paul Bearer. And
I remember that. I do.
Yeah. And then they had the urn of Paul Bearer. And then CM Punk beat up The Undertaker, bludgeoned him over the head with it, opened up the contents of the urn, and then tipped it all over himself.
Mm-hmm. Well, that actually happened this year. Yeah, because that was the WrestleMania where CM Punk took on The Undertaker in a really good matchup. But because remember, it was at that scene on the Raw where Taker does the kneel. They show Percy Pringle up on the screen, and then it cuts to CM Punk's theme song, and you're like, that's just like nuclear heat, like interrupting a guy that's just passed. You know, he's Taker showing respect, and here comes CM Punk to go, oh, sorry, did I interrupt something?
Yep.
Very cool.
So we are 11 minutes into our main event. We've had a lot of talk bits. We've had a promo. We've had two promos for the WrestleMania, and we've got a tale of the tape of what happened between these two gentlemen and why they're here. And we're going to lock it up right now.
And you look at it too, it really is a clash of styles.
Oh, big time.
Like you think of The Rock, someone that we grew up, really watching, we started watching mid 98, around that timeline where Rock that would have been his biggest year. He would go on to become, the corporate champion in November. I really didn't start watching CM Punk. I think it was around 2002, 2003 when he was in TNA. Mm-hmm. He was actually there with Mickie James and Raven. They were feuding there with him. And I really didn't watch ROH because in Australia, guys, we had no streaming service for it. I do remember I might have been Minotaur, which is like a pop culture store that we actually have here in Australia, and they actually had Ring of Honor DVDs, but they were like $65 because they were being shipped over here. And I remember once seeing a promotion for, I think it was Punk versus Samoa Joe, and I know they had a series of matches, but that's one of the first times I watched one of them was just seeing it on YouTube and going, who's CM Punk, and watching what he was doing, and I'm like, oh, that's the guy from TNA. But it was almost like a whole different version. Like the ROH one was a lot different character. The Pepsi plunge, the top rope pedigree I was like, what the hell? Because I love the pedigree. And seeing someone go off the top was a pretty crazy thing. But what a clash we have here.
Yeah, looking at The Rock and how much he is built, because this is during this time when the G.I. Joe Retribution
that's
movie
right.
came out.
Yeah.
And The Rock in the movie is known as Tank. And he is, in a way, he's built like a fucking tank in this movie. And then if you look at him here next to CM Punk, they definitely, like, Rocky Maivia right there is not the corporate champion that you and I watched back in 1998. This is he claims to be on his protein diet and having his cheat days of pancakes and stuff like that. I think he went to the Hulk Hogan Python school just to help him get through the gym sometimes.
Yeah, I know Joe Rogan took a couple of shots saying there's no way that someone could physically look like he does, even at his age, without taking some type of enhancement. And I think Rock did just a quick little short video back to him, just saying, I'm not doing anything. People want to come and test me, I don't think he actually said he doesn't want to get tested or something like that, but he was like, this is natural, and I just put in the hard work. But he really is completely different to how we watched him growing up. Like, he looks nothing like the guy that we watched, back in those early 2000 timeline.
Damn right, he is. He's but again, when he Punk is quite a muscular guy as well too. But then you've got Tank right there in the ring, pacing back and forth, wanting him back in the ring, and you're like, one of these things is not like the other.
And talking about G.I. Joe 2, I actually never saw that movie.
I think in a previous episode, long time ago, many episodes ago, guys, this is 150 for us. I think I spoiled the movie for you, and you got really shitty at me about it. Because, heads up, guys, this movie probably came out 10 years ago. Channing Tatum, at the beginning of the movie, dies, and
What?
yes,
Come on, El.
Yes, see, well, and
I
Tank,
forgot that, and now you've brought it back.
and now Tank, the Rock, becomes the main character of the movie.
Okay. It's kind of like the whole Fast and Furious thing. It's like there was talks of him replacing Vin Diesel, and then Vin Diesel and him had a falling out, and now Rock wants nothing to do with the movies.
Yeah, pretty much. He does the Hobbs and Shaw movie with Jason Statham. I've not seen that movie. Oh,
I love that. And guys, there's our poster.
Yep, nothing better than a wrestling. Oh God, what he took his head off.
And it was a big goober as well.
The big old yuck one. It came down.
I'll just clarify, guys. Goober means spit in Aussie, so.
Yeah, you don't really need it. Yeah. Goober's
no. Do you remember we had a big argument, guys? You go back and listen to our WrestleMania special, where we watched HBK versus Razor Ramon in the ladder match, and I say Goober, and you just lose your shit for about 4 minutes, telling me to stop saying Goober, mate.
Well, okay, different time, different person than I was back then.
It's a year ago.
Oh, new year, new me, all that type of trash and shit. Right in the eyes, right in the eyes.
I will say something, that guys, we do so much content, things just blend in to itself. So half the time I go, after 150 episodes, I'm like, oh, we've covered that show. Okay, maybe take that off the list. We've already done it. We did that 5 years ago. Okay.
We should just do that one time where you have no idea. It's like, oh, Al, haven't we done this? Like, no,
about
let's
halfway
do it,
through.
And then you go, hang on, why does this feel familiar? Well, bro, it's because we've done this match. We've done this show.
There's been a few shows that I would like to go back and do. Like, what was it, In Your House 1? I did by myself. I'd love to do that with you one day and watch that. I think we covered Taker versus Kane from WrestleMania 14. I would love to do that WrestleMania too, because that's the one that had HBK and Stone Cold, and I think it was Rock and Shamrock and everything like that.
For sure, definitely.
Now hear that, you got the women chanting "Let's go Rocky," and the men chanting "Let's go CM Punk" or "Let's go Punk."
Yeah, that's the piped in. That's been sweetened.
No, it hasn't.
It's been sweetened. Don't even start, bro. You know it's been sweetened. It's like watching that cringeworthy time. It was this time last year where WWE were actually doing their old video games.
Yeah. Well, and the Thunderdome too, just taping.
Yeah.
Because there's those things that I remember reading something about it. Like, if you actually buy a ticket to a WWE show, you're actually giving approval for you to be picked up on audio and video.
Yep.
So they just record you chanting and cheering, and they just make it as stock footage, and they can add it in. So like when SmackDown used to be pre-taped, and they would actually add in cheers for a face that was getting booed, and fans who were in the arena writing the results on, eWrestling.com or something like that, they would say there was boos, but what you watch and hear on TV are piped in cheers from another SmackDown that was taken years ago.
Yep.
Because I saw someone tweeted something years ago, like they saw themselves on Raw, even though they were at home. But the shot from but the shot from the crowd was from footage from when they went to a Raw like 2 years ago. And so they took a screenshot of themselves watching the show as it was live. So the crowd shots aren't even live crowd shots, which is crazy.
This actually is quite an athletic match. CM Punk is like showing off here now. It's showing he's got wrestling skills. But again, he's to the Rock here. He is just a big man.
Well, it goes back to the old way. Like, how do you beat down a big guy? Is you target the limbs, you target his back, you target his feet, you squeeze out the life out of him. But just looking at this match, I feel like I'm watching Fastlane 2017. But it's a lot longer. We're talking about Owens Goldberg, guys.
Yeah. Where I don't really have that disdain for Goldberg as much anymore.
Mm.
I mean, yes, I've heard some horrible shit that he did back in the day in WCW. Is purely just being boys and being the bully that he was to a couple of young wrestlers. But then there is some good stuff he's done out there, like the kids that go crazy for him. I saw a great video actually just today on Twitter of him he and um, Big E having a discussion
Oh, I've
about
seen that one. Yeah.
yeah. And he goes, "You do it," because he, 20 seconds out of Big E's life, he met Goldberg and he had a picture signed by Bill Goldberg, and he said, you took your time out just to be, with my dad and sign this for us.
Mm.
I think it just takes a Goldberg in time. That he sort of had to go away, learn a new hold, and then return, and then that love was found.
Mm.
Yeah,
he was pushed to the moon so quick.
Yes.
And at that time, and you're making money, are you going to say no?
Fuck no.
Like, they're making shirts of you. They want you in movies. It's in your best interest to just run with it. Mm-hmm. Because, again, wrestling, guys, like pro wrestling isn't about being the best wrestler. Like, it's a personality. Mm-hmm. Wrestling isn't just what you see in the ring. It's how you, present yourself outside of the ring, how you present yourself on social media. People going into OnlyFans, people going on YouTube. Like, it isn't just the wrestler in the ring now. It's more than that. Yes. It's not about just the big dude or the small dude. There's so much diversity to it. Like, hardcore fans would know CM Punk. Non-hardcore fans would know The Rock. So people watching this match are watching The Rock wrestle to make up Rock Cena. We would have loved to have seen Punk, win this match and take on Cena as a wrestling standpoint. But for marketing and money, you do Rock Cena too, because they made so much money the previous year. God would have loved to have seen a triple threat. Like, you keep this feud going and do that, which makes me think of what the year The Rock took on Stone Cold. I think it was Mania 15, and there was talks of Mankind going in that and doing Mankind, Austin, Rock. But then listening to Bruce Pritchard on, Something to Wrestle With years ago, he said the plan was never to have Mankind in the title picture. The plan was always to do Rock Austin. Yep. So Mankind was just a temporary champion to fill that gap between January and March, which is the same thing with Owens, Goldberg, and also Punk Rock that we're seeing here.
Definitely. I can't really recall in the last, was this the last time they actually did they learn from this, that people hate this shit, that they checking his pulse.
Well, I think you go back to when Brock won the Rumble. Was it last year? Just to set up Rock Roman. It was almost like the waste of a Rumble, because Brock went on to then win the championship at Elimination Chamber to then do the whole champ versus champ thing. Like, Brock didn't need the Rumble win if he already won the world title the next month. Sure. So it was almost like a waste of a Rumble. That's almost like the forgotten Rumble. Like, this one was awesome, both the men's and women's this year. Last year's was absolutely shithouse, and I'll probably never go back and watch that one. To see people like Kevin Owens, see Shane McMahon in there, it was just shit. It's terrible.
Yeah, he fucked up a couple of spots, didn't the old
well, Shane booked a lot of it too, and he got released 3 days later.
I don't remember last year's one. I remember the year before, 2020.
Yeah.
That one sticks out like a sore thumb for me, because, again, that was the last pay-per-view before
the last big one, yeah, because they did Chamber. That was with fans. But, yeah, the Rumble was one of the last, big four to actually have that, yeah.
It's when COVID would hit the world, and maybe the Rock going for the people, went for the rock bottom, spin around.
Oh, shit, great head kick. And how crazy to think that too. We're talking COVID 2020. That's 3 full years ago.
Yes.
How we pushed this podcast through 2020, 2021, 2022, and there were times where I thought, are we ever going to be able to get back in person? And I think we've kind of found our footing, doing it like this.
Yes.
In the online format, and even people we've connected with, the World Elite podcast. There's 3 of them, and they've actually never done it in person. their entire podcast has been online because they live in different parts of the same city, but just for their own safety and convenience, everything's online now.
Yeah, it's just how it is. We lived at a time where we were told to stay home.
Mm.
Don't leave your houses. Don't leave your homes. Um, this is what's best for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, in this type of format, I do enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Look at this. CM Punk with a rock bottom on the announce table.
It almost looked like a Sambu Slam. That how we did it. Like,
Would you just run back to the ring, start the count, Kyoto?
but isn't Rock champion here?
So part of Vince McMahon, he's I would say comeback to CM Punk was, okay, I'll give you another shot, but we're going to make it more better for you. If The Rock gets DQ'd or counted out, he loses the WWE Championship.
Ah, okay. Sounds stupid.
And Rock gets in at 9, and Alan just goes, ugh.
Predictable wrestling. We already know what we're seeing, and it's predictable. Nothing better than predictability.
Yeah. But I would say even like, unpredictable, I couldn't pick the Women's Rumble winner this year. I didn't even pick Rhea on my list. I think both you and I were thinking Asuka, I think.
I was on the last minute when you messaged me going, hey, give us who do you think's got the win? And I immediately went, I was like, oh, Rhea? Rhea might get it. And I went, nah, go with the old fave. Go with Asuka.
Mm.
And Asuka came down. She was the last 3, and she got eliminated. But it was her old gimmick returned, which was Kia was so good to see in return. It was the lioness face, and then she takes it off, and it's just got the blue and the lightning and the contacts in the eyes. I was like, I have a bit of a boner. Yes, I am very excited. Yes.
Well, I hope that she wins at Chamber because I would love to see Asuka versus Bianca. That would be awesome for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah, I think we've predicted it right there, guys.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, very good to see her get the W on that one. Adelaide Proud, good on her. Australian Proud,
and
it's Aussie.
It's Rhea Charlotte too.
Yes. It won't be the Moni match that we heard at WrestleMania COVID.
Yes, because there was no fans in that arena. All we could hear was a lot of noise.
Oh, it was a noise one. It was one of those matches you put on mute. Or just turn it down and let your neighbours know. What are you doing in there? Oh, watching WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania season, guys. Uh-huh.
You're just sitting in your car. It's all fogging up.
Dirty pervert.
Look at these elbows. Look at this.
He's doing what we all want to do.
Jeez, look at it reminds me of what was it, Will Ospreay. Just smash it. But he literally takes the whole pad off and just, I'm going to kill ya. And just hits it with an elbow.
Bruv, I'm going to kill you. That's what I'm going to do. That's how I'll wrestle now. Hey.
There was one fella that he got a few years ago where he nearly knocked him out cold, and then he dropped 6 more behind his neck and then pinned him.
Oh, hang on. Look out.
Oh, rock bottom. Center of the ring.
1, 2, and 3. He kicked out of that.
See, that's almost what? That's the finish. That's the move. That's the move he won him multiple championships.
That's the maneuver that put Stone Cold Steve Austin in retirement.
Mania 19.
And he kicks out of it? Okay.
Right. And it wasn't even rock bottom, roll away, then go for the pin. It was a pin straight after the rock bottom.
But we must build the drama. Drama is key in wrestling. Heyman pleading.
Yeah, who did you end up saying was your person for Heyman?
Kyoto down.
Who did you end up saying was the Cesaro you liked, did you?
Oh, no, I wanted that to... Oh, GTS. I really wanted more of that. Curtis Axel at one time was great.
Oh, I forgot that, when he was IC champion. Yeah.
But I do enjoy the Roman. I like him with Roman. There was that brief little stint where he went back with Brock, and they fooled us the whole time. You know, they he went back to the Usos, and he went back to the Bloodline.
See, I don't think that was even needed. Like, that was just
No,
what?
no.
It was just smoke and mirrors. That it was like, what? What are we doing?
Whoa! Sorry, I was just doing Cody Rhodes' song when you said smoke.
Yeah,
and
I
mirrors.
paused for a second, then I thought, who's he referencing? And then I'm like, you just blew your mic then.
Did I? Sorry.
Oh, GTS, this will be second attempt, misses it. There's a second ref outside though. Oh, here we go. Look at him flexing up, Al.
He's flexing on that. Got to drop that people's elbow. Sign guy down there with the red cap.
There he is down the bottom,
corner
yeah,
of
to
your
the bottom
screen.
right. Yeah, bottom right.
Oh,
nice.
to the heart of CM Punk. To the vegan heart of CM Punk.
Is the ref in? And I think that's Nicholas's dad. That's the Nicholas father, where his kid won the tag belt.
Nicholas's father.
Mm.
There we go. Nicholas' father. That's his name.
Father of Nicholas.
Father of Nicholas.
He can openly say his son's a former WWE Tag Team Champion.
And what are you doing there, ref? You got nothing going on. You nearly. Oh, okay.
What the?
What
did he do? Okay.
He went for the ankle.
I think Punk did.
Shit. Yeah, he went for the referee's ankle.
God, he's loving these single head kicks, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's selling it.
My ankle.
Do you remember that NXT referee years ago that snapped his leg and it's facing the other way as he's still counting the pin?
He's a bloody trooper.
Shit. Talking about broken, what do you think of Donovan Dijak's finger at the recent NXT Vengeance Day? Just the left finger facing that way. Yeah.
It's become an online meme, and it's fantastic.
That's crazy.
It's all for the best. So good on him though. It's just shows that it's not just ballet. This shit's real.
Look at this, Heyman picking up the Rock here.
But what's Heyman doing? Rock is a tank.
Look out. Oh no, down goes Heyman. Rock bottom, center up the ring. Where's the ref?
Get Kyoto in.
Here's the original referee.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, look at Allen. You know what this means, don't you?
Yep, that's right.
We're getting Rock Cena too.
Yeah, we are so fortunate. We are so blessed.
And it really was a passing of the torch, though, because I remember that shot, when he actually eventually did lose to Cena, the rampway shot, giving him the belt and pointing to him like, this is your show now, and I'm on my way.
I'll come back at one of the Raw, what was it? Yeah, Raw 50 or something. When you need me to come back,
1,000, yeah.
I'll be there.
Or SmackDown 1,000 or something like that. Yeah.
I will be there to do a video package. I won't come in person.
Pre-tape.
I will do a pre-tape. That's what I do best. Because I'm too busy out there making movies, bulking up. But don't worry, we've got another Rocky Johnson in NXT with his daughter, kicking butt and taking names.
Yeah, she's doing some great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting gimmick. I think, everyone's got to start somewhere, and not everyone loves every gimmick, but it's a starting point. Like, you just have to, either don't watch it or, don't complain. If you don't watch it, don't complain about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, any comments on this one, Al?
This big Hulk. Look at him. He's hulking out like Hulk Hogan.
Just veins popping out everywhere.
He does. And remember when Hulk Hogan took on The Rock at WrestleMania, and how Hulkster looked huge against Rock here. This is Rock now has become the Hulkster. He's got the arms, he's got the legs, he's got the traps, he's got the neck. This Rock here that we saw against Hogan, very different dude back then. And look at this. It's just like, it's just...
this wasn't all organized and planned.
This was not organized at all. Look at this. They even got the title on Rock, and they've even got the title behind Cena.
Well, who knows, guys? Maybe next month we might watch it.
No thanks, I'm good.
Oh shit.
Did you watch that WrestleMania of 2013?
I didn't watch it that year it happened, but I have gone back and watched it. I kind of
Oh,
skipped through most of it. I just wanted to watch the main event
I
and
watched it
Punk
10
versus
years later.
Taker.
Yeah, that's the one thing I remember from it. I'm going to stop my. There we go. I'm done. That's over. Yep. Let's
Well,
talk to the people.
any closing comments, Al, before we finish up this month?
What an interesting choice that we come before you, ladies and gentlemen, in doing of the Elimination Chamber 2013 Rock Punk 2 for the championship. I hope people enjoyed it. I enjoyed thoroughly going back to it. I just find it very interesting. Just the other night, watching old Josh playing this, Josh Robinson on his Twitch, actually doing the showcase mode and going, oh, okay, could be interesting. And then watching this, and we get to see no, sorry, it was The Rock Cena 2.